I just want to take a moment to say thank you to all of you all for coming. This community is designed to support you in that time. It's really to utilize when things are bad and when you're at your lowest.
I started to learn about emotions. I started to learn about finding root causes, right? Starting to understand addiction and how addiction is not, once again, the issue, that we are using a negative stimulus as a coping mechanism.
Part of my mission is to make sure people know that everything we need comes in a natural form. It's already here for us.
I am determined. I am strong. And I am ready.
We must first lovingly accept what is. I often say, you can't heal a body you hate.
This is healthy blood cells. And that's what we're aiming for. So you can see the contrast. Okay? What you do matters.
Thank you all for coming. Be blessed.
No matter what, you have to put yourself first. If you're not aware that there's change that needs to be made, how can you fix it? This information is fire.
I had to come to the realization that, number one, I was an emotional eater.
We need to accept the decisions that we make, because if we can do that, then we have the power to change them. You came here so that way you can start moving into your heaven path. Once again, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive. I don't think anybody in my circle understands impossible. I know y'all was wondering when we was gonna start. You got all these videos.
I was about to say, I said, Chris up here, he emptied the clip on the intros.
Emptied the clip. I still got one in the chamber.
How many intros do I got in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5.
I always keep one in the chamber. Don't worry about it.
Hey,
listen, look, Shell told me every time I go live, I got to show the retreat video, because September 20th to the 23rd, we got our 3rd annual retreat coming up. So for those of you who are not aware, look, you know, it's funny. Every year we have a retreat. And every year people say, I hope you have a retreat next year. And every year the people that say, I hope you have a retreat next year, don't show up to the retreat. So I don't know what that's all about, but we're going to have a retreat every year. But eventually you got to come. You can't just keep waiting for the next year. So let this year be your year. You know why? We've made it easy. You don't even have to get on a plane. You don't have to travel. We lowered the price. All you got to do, I got a link in the description box. I'll probably grab it and put it in the chat too.
yeah.
All you got to do is click the link. We're doing it virtual this year. We're doing it virtual.
Little mix and match.
Little mix and match. We got a few people in person. We got to, we're doing it virtual this year. So everybody who's like, I can't get off work, I can't find the time. Nah, we made it virtual. Steve, what did you say about the virtual event? Because you had an opinion about the virtual event. You said people think they're not going to get the benefit from a virtual event, but you remember that?
No.
Okay, you said people think they might not get the benefits of an event if they don't go in person, but look at the impact that AHA has had on you.
Pardon me. Sometimes you got to jog my brain. Hey, listen, if y'all can't tell, Chef Michael's, Pastor Stephen, Pastor Mike.
No, it's called Vacation
Master Faster Mike. Y'all know him, but this is Vacation Stephen. For those of you that were probably in a 40-day wellness class, you probably met Vacation Stephen before. But I'm out with the family down in Ocean City, and I found a snippet of time to get it quiet in here. Everybody went down to the beach for a little night fun in the water, and I'm grateful for that. And in that moment, when we initially were talking about the retreat, and it kind of came up where we were just having a conversation between the coaches about in person and then virtual. And we were just spitballing, right? And the team is coaching, and we're talking. And I said, some people may feel like if they can't come to the retreat, they're not going to get the benefit of the retreat, right? And you may be sitting there and be thinking the exact same thing. Like, oh, well, I it's virtual. It ain't the same. I want to be there. Matthew gonna be there. I want to be there. And I said, you know what? I said, but let's think about this. Everything that AHA has been built virtually, right? Like most people here, they don't know me in person, but you have seen my personality. You've seen Chris's personality. You've watched YouTube enough. You've joined classes. You are following our social medias. We interact. Like everything that we have built has been virtual. Think about it. So the retreat would be no different. It would be much different than you just watching another video. There will be interaction, and obviously the environment will be different. You'll see other people, but there's no difference between watching a AHA video and then learning and then actually being at the retreat, right? It's the same information, right? So if you are someone who is like, I really want to go to one of those, I want to be a part of something like that, you can still be a part of it. The information is very different than what we teach just sometimes on a day-to-day. Depending on how you're interacting with AHA would determine the type of information that you get. And I can tell you, and anyone that has been in one of our retreats can tell you, there's things that I have taught only at the retreat, right? And the information that I'm planning to be teaching is completely different than most of what I've been teaching, because it's always something new and special. There's always a new kind of energy that's involved in it, right? And when everybody is in the same place doing the same thing, and we're all hoping to get something out of it, you will get something out of it. The only way that you won't get something out of it is if you're thinking, oh, you know what? I'm not there. It's not going to work for me. I'm not going to get information. It's not about how you get the information. It's really about what the application of knowledge or the application of the information. So I can give you the most groundbreaking information tonight, right now, and you never know. You may get some of that. But the question is, are you going to do something about it? Mm-hmm. Are you going to actually hear it and then say, you know what? I need to apply that, right? I recently just put out one of my last newsletter that I put out. And if you're not following my newsletter, subscribe. You should do that. It's free. And I was talking about my schedule of fasting that I did before my vacation. And it was like my summer detox, right? And I have a few more processes left, but it was phase 1. And I got a little down on myself right before I came. And I then started to then look at my numbers. I then started to look at, well, how many days was I supposed to be fasting? I think it was supposed to be 42 days of fasting, or 42 days in total. And I should have fasted like 36. And then I ended up fasting like 31 or something. And then based upon the schedule that I created, or the strategy I created for myself, based upon what I accomplished, I realized that I completed 86% of the total amount of fasting that I was supposed to do during that time. 86%, right? During that time, then I still lost 25 plus pounds, right? Everything that I was looking to accomplish during that time, I accomplished. And I did it with 86% accuracy. Mm-hmm. Once again, where this comes from, you don't have to be perfect. You don't. You just need to be consistent, mm-hmm. right? Perfection is not needed, but consistency is a must. All you have to do is apply a piece of it. Could you imagine if you applied 50%? If you had a schedule and then you were like, I'm going to do a certain type of fasting and you did 50% of it, you're going to end up better after 30 days than when you started, just at 50%, right? And then if you continue to do that, you'll hit your goals. And we have people that consistently do that. I'm really elated right now because I had a client, Chris, I'm sorry, I'll pass it to you in a second. But I had a client that I was working with, and she's in the group. She's very much a part of the Mighty Network AHA family. And I'm sure she's going to make a post about this. So I'm not going to tell you who it is, but she had a really, really big goal. And she hit her goal with like 2 days to spare with the challenge that she was doing. And I'm really lucky to be a part of that. She lost over 100 pounds. And it was so dramatic. She was doing a challenge. Her doctor, or the challenge program, basically is sending her to a doctor to make sure that she didn't get surgery, or to make sure that she didn't cheat in some way, because they're like, these results are so dramatic. You had to have cheated. There's no way you did this in this amount of time without cheating. And she didn't. She just worked with Steven and she followed the plan, right? She had over 80% accuracy. And it was so dramatic that they literally are sending her to a doctor to review her, to make sure that she did not get surgery or cheat. And she's going to have to sign a legal affidavit saying that she didn't do so as well. So this is something that we can all do this. It's really about, are you going to then apply the knowledge that you learn? So whether it's through a YouTube video, whether you get the information from reading a book, or whether you come to a virtual retreat with your favorite AHA coaches, it is there. And I guarantee you it's going to be electric. And not only is it going to be electric, you're going to have support then and after, and you will have all the tools that you need in order to be successful and really work towards those goals. And by the time the end of the year comes around, you can completely change who you are before the end of the year. The question is, are you willing to put in the work?
It's always that's always the question. They say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That means that everything that you guys are looking to achieve in life, the information, the teacher, the information, the knowledge, it's already there. That's where that quote comes from, that sentiment comes from. The information, the know-how, the direction, whatever, it's already available. Just pick a thing that you want to accomplish. The information's there. It's all about you, because we live in a world, some people call it a video game. I think that, when people call it a simulation, a video game, the Matrix, it gives people outside of that knowledge base or that thought process, it gives them the wrong impression. We live in a world where we have a lot of impact on our experience in this world. We have more impact on our experience in this world than anybody would imagine, almost to the point where it feels like you're playing a game. You are the main character of your own game. So you get to choose what quests you want to go on, what side quests. You get to choose how much you want to level up in one area before you go to the next area. You get to choose all these things. And we choose these things through our thoughts and our actions. So if your desires, you say, I want to lose 100 pounds, I want to make $100,000, I want to get married, etc. If these are the things that you want, but your thoughts and your actions don't align with those goals, you will continue to play in the area you're in, whatever area that is. You will not move on to the next level, because your thoughts and your actions control the reality that you're living in. Not Steven's thoughts, not Chris's thoughts, not your mom's actions, but your thoughts and actions. So accountability has to be top of mind in all things that you do if you want the outcomes you claim you desire. You have to be accountable, because even when someone does something to you, right? Like you're driving along and someone bumps into your car, you've got many different directions that you could go. Like there's so many buttons you could push. Do you want to bump them back? That's push A. Push A to bump them back. You know what I'm saying? Push B to speed up and cut them off. You could do that. Push C if you want to flip them the bird when you won't go past them. Or you could choose D. Steve, what controller had the D? Was that a Sega or something? Or Super Nintendo?
Maybe I don't
maybe a Sega Saturn or something. Or you could push D, and D is to try to flag them down, see if you can stop. Hey, are you okay? You bumped me. Are you okay? Is everything okay? You have no idea what's going on in that person's life, right? Maybe their father just died. So instead of bumping them back, flipping them off, or doing something mean or rude, you could ask them to pull over and then, hey, even though you did something to me, I could say, hey, are you okay? Because I don't know what's going on in your life. And then guess what? Your vibration goes up, right? You just gained experience points. And the reason why this is important to understand is life is always going to happen. You're always going to have ups and downs, right? How we deal with the ebbs and flow of life is the only thing that matters. This is how you're going to accelerate your life or decelerate, right? Either you're going to stay complacent or you're going to move forward. But you have to think about your thoughts, your actions, and do they align with your goals? So I named today's video The Future of Fasting for Weight Loss. And Steve said, man, Chris, I don't know what you got going on. You got like an AI computer. What's going on? The image that you guys see when you signed up to watch the video tonight, it's a representation of my mindset. It's kind of been this way for a long time. When it comes to the AHA family, I've always thought about the future. I live in the present, but I plan for the future. And what I noticed in the present, let's say 5-6 years ago, we were starting to develop different programs. We were doing our live streams. We were bringing people on for interviews, and we were getting a lot of hype, volume, viewership, comments, a lot of energy, I'll say. But I noticed that there was no huge jump in outcomes. There was a noticeable jump, but it wasn't like a skyrocket, right? The amount of viewership and energy we had focused on the brand didn't correlate to outcomes. So we had a small spike, which I was grateful for. And you guys, who rock with us, I've talked about this. I'm very happy to see the outcomes. I was very excited to see the spike in outcomes. But, some people will say Chris is never pleased. I want to see more outcomes. I want to see more spikes. I want 50% of our community to be successful. And when I say 50%, of course, I want you all to be successful, but we have to be realistic in the sense that I can't want something more than you do, right? So if we can get half of us to get serious, if I can provide a pathway to you getting to them outcomes, no matter what the obstacles you're experiencing, that's like my goal, like 50%. That's, very high, but that's what I want, right? So Steven came up with an idea. Steve, I don't even know if you remember this, but you came up with the idea for the 21-day fasting challenge, but it wasn't the 21-day fasting challenge.
I do remember.
Tell me, what was your original idea?
Okay, so these challenges in general, right, spawned from me. And I said, Chris, hey man, I wanna do a group and do like a group fasting. And I want AHA to just kind of help present it. But if I can get like 50, 100 people in a group, I'll lead it. I'll teach every week. This would be great. Because if you guys, the real OGs, if you guys have been in AHA singles, right? If y'all some real OGs, I did a group fast over there, And we had about 35, 40 people. And I was doing a group fast, and a lot of people had success. And I said, and it was completely free. And I said, like, man, what if we could do it this way? And then if a lot of y'all don't know Chris, but he took that idea, which was a seed, and then he literally just ran with it. And then now it has turned into this magnificent creature that has changed so many lives. And one of the story I was telling you about with this client, she started off with the challenges. But then not only did she start a challenge, but she used it to jumpstart her. At the end of the challenge, she came to me and was like, okay, Stephen, what do I do after this? And then it began to build. So that's how it all started.
Yes. Real quick, before we move on, let's see here. We got a super chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yo,
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama 1375. I don't know if you saying my mama or if you saying you're a mama, but your mama. I needed to hear that. I needed to hear this today. Heaven sent. Thank you for all you do. Small token of my appreciation.
Hey, I'm gonna take credit for that. That was my story.
I think it did come through at your story.
Listen, I'm not taking credit for the work. I didn't do the work, and I didn't share all her story, but it's so powerful. And I mean, I got other ones too, man. Darshawn, I don't know if it's the same Darshawn. The last name is different, but I don't know. That could be another one of my clients. That, if it is, chime in. He has another. Unless maybe y'all got the same name. We got another very powerful story as well.
We've been doing it long enough, man. We got stories. But here's the thing. Stephen was working in the present. He's like, look, I did this challenge. It was successful. I want to do another one. That's perfect, right? But I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, but what about the future? You know what I'm saying? Because the idea is great, but yo, it's crazy. I went on a date with this girl, like maybe, I don't know, 9 years ago, right? And the whole time we're like talking business. So we had like no chemistry at all. We're just talking business. And she worked for Microsoft, I think, at the time, and I was an electrician. But I had just started, I think I just started the AHA brand. So maybe seemed like it was okay. I don't know. I've been in Texas too long now. Anyway, point is, she kept talking about sustainability because back then I was like commenting on every single, like if you guys comment in the comment section of a video, I was commenting on every single thing. And I was telling her like, yeah, I'd be up 24/7. I'd be commenting, we were probably on our date when she would like look away. I was probably commenting. And she's like, you got to think sustainability. So when Stephen brings me an idea, I'm like, okay, good idea. How can we make it bigger, better, and make it sustainable? And so that's kind of where the 21 Day Challenge came from and the challenge series. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5-2 fasting challenge because that is our next challenge. That's our next big challenge. But the way I wanted to talk about the birth of the challenge series, because in my opinion, it has been the most successful thing that we have done in the way of increasing outcomes. And every single challenge we do, we collect data, right? Testimonials, we interact, we ask questions, and we look at our participation to see what's working, what's not working, what can we do better. Now, I would implore you all to take this same ideology or this same strategy and apply it in your life, apply it in your wellness journey. Do what Stephen's client did, our family member, do what they did and say, okay, step one, join the challenge. I don't know what the challenge is. I don't know what I'm going to benefit. I don't know, but I'm going to invest. I'm going to take that leap of faith, if you will. do the challenge to the best of your ability, right? Meaning, if you do 50% accuracy or 60% accuracy, it's better than zero. Zero will be not joining the challenge, not doing anything, right? Or joining the challenge and not doing anything. That'd be like maybe 5%. So do it to the best of your ability, meaning there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that are going to, try to cause you to veer off. But if you just do it to the best of your ability, you're going to see a huge outcome at the end. Okay. Then what did they do? They followed up with a what is next? Because the challenge is like a spark. Okay. It's just a spark in the engine, in the grand scheme of your wellness journey. It's designed to motivate, it's designed to teach and give you tools for you to practice, but it's really just the beginning. And obviously for some of you guys, you've done multiple challenges, you've done multiple things, so it may just be a boost. When you're playing a video game, especially racing games, some racing games, they have those little pads you could go across and it gives you a little boost, or you can earn turbo and you can hit the boost. That's what challenges are for. What they are not designed to do is replace all your work, all of your consistency, or they are not, you do the challenge. Let's say we do a challenge once every 6 weeks. You do the challenge, but then in between the challenge, you do nothing. That's not what you can't abuse the process, right? You have to be engaged holistically. So as we continue doing the challenges, we're refining. And most recently, we put together our 5-2 challenge. Now, the 5-2 challenge comes from my other brother, who was one of the founding fathers, AHA founding fathers, Jay Free, or Johnny Jupiter, as he goes by now. And John started his fasting journey essentially with 5-2s. The reason why is because I was doing long-term fasting. I was doing, like, I would say between 8 and 14 days of fasting. John found that to be challenging at the time. Or I should say, he wanted something that would be more sustainable because he had way more weight to lose. He had way more work to do. So we came up with this strategy of fasting for 5 days and then eating for 2 days. And then we broke down the benefits. What's the pros and cons of this process? So we decided to take that and put it into a challenge format, and you guys absolutely loved it. Steve, what would you say as far as like the feedback, on the 5-2? Do you remember, like, what was your experience with the 5-2 and the challengers?
One of the best things about the 5-2 is that we have people that strictly fast on challenges. That's when they fast. And we were doing the JR72, the R72, the 21 day, and the JR72, the R72, they're shorter fast. Then the 21 day is a much longer one. So this was the first time that people really got a chance to do a 5-day fast on a cycle. And when you start to move past 5 days, when you start to move past 3 days, you really start to push into those long-term benefits. So some people have heard us talk about the fasting Goldilocks zone, where you get to a certain point when you feel, and you'll know you're in the Goldilocks zone when you have the thought, I never have to eat again.
Yeah.
Right? And if you've never had that thought, you haven't been in the fasting Goldilocks zone. You have to fast consistently and frequently, or over a long period of time to hit that Goldilocks zone. And with the 5-2, you can hit that after a couple cycles. With the 3-2s, it takes a really long time, or some people never hit it, right? Or they simply just don't cycle long enough. So one of the really big benefits also is that not only do you feel better as you do it longer, right? You get more used to it, but because you have those 2 days additional of those fasting days, your weight loss is going to be higher as well. Right. And then when you then add in the addition of like doing maybe fruit only on refeed days, right, which is a super game changer, or doing raw only on those refeed days, you really boost your benefits. And you can really see that very well when you're mixing that with that 5 days. So one of the biggest things that people notice, especially most people coming off of kind of those R72 style challenges, they notice way more weight loss. They started to realize that they can actually really get into long-term fasting, because a lot of people don't realize this, but anything under 3 days is considered short-term fasting. So a lot of your R72s and such are technically short-term fast. The 5-2 is really like the gateway drug to that long fast, right? Like we'll hear about people doing, someone was just talking about a 21-day, or you'll hear people want to do 40 and all these things. It's like, well, I want to do 40, but the longest I did was 1. Pump your brakes. Let's start with a 3. Get some small wins under our belt. If you ever worked with me, you've heard me say that. Let's get some small wins under our belt. Let's teach ourselves that we can do this. And then we move to the 5. And then when you move to a 5, you really begin to see the power of fasting. Like it really is the door opener, right? Like the 3s, you're really kind of you're peeking in. You're peeking into an area that you're not sure if you're allowed to look into, and you get benefit, right? When the 5s, you open that door, you walk in, you're like, hey, man, there's something special going on in here, right? And as you cycle on that, people have found it, they'll find it easy after the first couple of cycles, because you get that extra day, right? So you have that extra day of eating. With the R72, you only have that 1. So you have that extra day of eating, and then you'll start to realize, you know what, I'm really not that hungry. And then it makes it easier for you to continue moving on after that. So there's a lot of special things that people have got, but one of the biggest things is that you'll see much larger numbers in weight loss. You're also going to realize that you can then actually do long-term fasting, and then we'll see people push it to 5. I've seen people skip the refeed, and then now they just end up doing a total of 12, right? And they're like, I've never even done 5 days before, and I end up doing 12, because they then hit that Goldilocks zone. And then now you're out walking around and you're at 5, 7, 8 days, and you're like, hey, man, I could do this forever. And that's really the opener. But so a lot of people really had some really big benefits, and we saw a higher percentage of people that stayed. The weight loss percentage was higher for the people that stayed to the end. So that was really good. And a lot of people got a lot of benefit from it. So I love the 5-2, and I'm excited to do it. It's only our second time, so I'm excited.
It's our second time. So, all right, 5-2 is 5 days of fasting, 2 days of eating. Okay, so we had this question. Maybe I missed it, but how long is the duration? All right, so that's the cycle. However, we always do repeated cycles in our challenges. This time around, because if you guys did the 5-2 last time, it was a short blitz. This time around, we're doing the full month. So it's 3 weeks, 3 cycles of the 5-2 plus your preparation week. And then, of course, you do your cool off after the challenge ends with your refeed, right? So that's how the process works. Days of fasting. I'm not there yet. I need to watch some beginner videos. Any recommendations? Well, you can approach this a couple different ways. So we have the Fasting 101 playlist on the YouTube channel. Okay, you could just check that out. Start with some of the older content. You gotta kind of thumb through the videos and figure out which ones make sense for you. If you want to kind of streamline the process, you can go to the AHA wellnessacademy.com, AHA wellnessacademy.com, and then you sign up for the AHA fasting system. That is it is an academy where we teach fasting. It's the ABCs of fasting. So if you want to streamline your process, you can go and you could do that. Or you can trust the process, because even if you're a beginner and you want to join the 5-2, it still will work for you as long as you work the process. And this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the live stream. As far as anything that you want to accomplish, all you have to do is set your intention on it and then match your thoughts and your actions, and you'll accomplish it. The difficult part is your thoughts, because even sometimes you could fake the actions. Like I'm doing it, even though my brain is telling me or my mind's telling me I can't do it. You could fake the, and sometimes that works. Eventually, you start to get those small wins Steve talks about, and it builds your confidence up. And you're like, wait a minute, I can do this, right? But what I tell people all the time is the challenges, even if the particular challenge doesn't resonate with you initially, I would still highly recommend you guys join. Why? Because each challenge is formatted a little differently. You get different content, different information, different strategy. Okay. So look at it almost like a class where you're learning about fasting. Even if you're not going to do, like, if it's a 21-day challenge, even if you're not going to do 21 days of fasting, you can still learn how to do it. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Isn't that what they say? Something like that.
That's exactly what it is.
So join the challenge and just start that process, that repetition, right? Get familiar with it. Look at other people's wins, because part of it is, wait, okay, I might not feel like I could do it, but maybe if I see Steve's story and Steve's brand new to the challenge and he did it, well, if Steve could do it, I could do it. The community. And Matthew and
they be packing, bro. They be getting it daily.
Yeah, I saw Anthony in the chat too. Look, that pack group, man, I'm gonna grab the link real quick for y'all so you could join. If you are not, especially if you're new to our community, if you're not a part of AHA communities, it's an oversight. It's an oversight. You need to be a part of AHA communities. Number one, it's free, costs you nothing. Number two, the value is I don't know other communities that do this. They have a peer accountability group. It is peer led, and they coach daily. If I'm not mistaken, Steve, they coach daily.
Yeah, they well, they'll say we're not coaches, right? They it's about accountability. But yeah, it's daily, and they get together.
Correct.
People tell their stories. They're doing a lot, and it helps to keep you motivated, right? And one of the reasons I love it is because sometimes people see us, and it's a good thing, right? I appreciate it, but sometimes I think that sometimes we are revered too highly. And they're afraid to say how they messed up, or they're afraid to maybe ask certain questions because they're like, that's Steven. Like, I don't want to look bad and ask certain questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real thing. And I've snuck into some of them, and I've seen conversations, and I love it. People are very real and open and honest, and they say things that they don't normally say when the coaches are there. Nothing bad, but things that I would love to answer, but maybe they're just afraid to say it because a coach is in the room. So, and everyone that leads those calls has been around for a long time, so they're great.
Yeah, that's fine. Y'all don't got to call yourself coaches, but I'll tell you what, you coaching.
You definitely coaching.
You're coaching. It is a great community. So, real quick, I'm gonna throw the link in the chat for the 5-2 challenge as we continue this conversation. I know there's some of you that are ready to get signed up now, and I always wait to the end to put the links in there. This time I said I'm gonna put the link in a little early. Okay, for those who are ready to sign up, get the challenge. We're going to be starting on Sunday. All right. If you feel like you're not ready, that's even more reason why you need to join, so that you can learn and understand the process and prepare and, dip your toes in. You may actually surprise yourself. Stephen and I used to run our 40-day wellness class, okay, a couple years ago. And in that class, we did 5-2s, didn't we, Steve?
Yep, sure did.
So if you joined the 40-day class and you were new to AHA, the first thing we did was throw you off into a 5-day fast. And the success rate was extremely high. You know what I mean? Like, we had conversations with people that were like, I ain't never even done 24 hours. Y'all want me to do 5 days? Yep. Because you're capable of it. Why? Because fasting is a natural part of your physiology, believe it or not. I know that in the modern times, we've been taught that fasting is a diet or it's a fad or it's, what do you call it? Starvation. You know, they'll make up all these things about fasting. Why do they misinform? Because misinformation is how they keep you sick, how they keep you dependent, how they keep you under thumb. Okay. When you're sick and you're watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you're not going to do better for yourself. You're not going to grow. You're going to fight amongst yourselves and they can maintain control. Okay. So
You
that's
said
just
keeping up
what
with the Kardashians, man. It's real world housewives, the love and hip hop, all like, you know what I mean? It's all them. You
you
know what I
already
mean?
know. You already know. So I want you guys to consider joining, especially if you don't feel like you're ready. Okay. Have the experience, and you may find that it's the best thing you've ever done. Not to mention, we just keep learning more and more. So recently, well, on the last challenge was with the R72 challenge. I said, "Hey guys, I have an announcement. I might have I'm going to be working on 2 new products." Okay. And I announced the first product, which was Sculpt with the Root Wellness brand. That product, what I don't even know if home run is the right word. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that product blew me out the water. Okay. Like, that was my first time fasting like that with Sculpt. And I was just blown away. It was incredible. Sorry, y'all. I'm testing a new, I don't want to call it a detox because it's not a detox per se, but it's causing me to detox. But I'm testing something new. Okay. I'm always testing stuff for y'all, but yeah, it's just giving me a lot of mucus. Anyway, so Scope was crazy, but there was another technology I was testing as well, and I didn't announce it. We did recently announce it. Some of you guys are familiar with it. We just announced our affiliation with the LifeWave brand. Okay, LifeWave is a company that has a patch that works on light therapy. It's a light therapy patch, to put it simple. To even further break it down, the patches are very similar to, if you guys are familiar with like going outside and sunning, that combination of sunning and grounding. A lot of people are more familiar with that. Or just simply understanding that when you go out in the sun, your skin absorbs the light from the sun and manufactures vitamin D. That is the same technology that we're talking about with these patches. And we've been testing them with fasting. We've been testing them for a few months prior to talking to you guys. We had some amazing testimonials. If you guys didn't join that live or you didn't see it, it's up. You just gotta look at. I think we did the live Sunday, so just a couple days ago. But we are going to be encouraging the community to add the LifeWave patches to their fast and then compare what experience they have using them and not using them. And I told Steven, I was like, man, we are about to build the perfect fasting strategy. And this is where the future of fasting for weight loss comes from. It's the culmination of us tweaking the challenges, based on y'all's feedback, adding supplements and tools to help support you, especially when you feel like if you feel like 5 days is too much. I'm telling you it's not. Because even before, we would get people to fast for 5 days with no support. Now we have different supplements and things that we can suggest to you. It will blow you out the water. You can do it. I mean, me personally, my goal is to take somebody who knows nothing about fasting, and in one of our challenges, be able to get them to successfully do a 21 day. Like not necessarily cold turkey, because we do have a preparation with our challenges, but essentially you don't got to know nothing about fasting. You join our 21 day and you successfully complete it. And what we are building is the foundation for that. And I appreciate everybody who's been a part of that, all of the people in the community, in the chat, because you guys are helping us be successful as a brand, and in turn we're able to help more people. So this is exciting for me, if you guys can't tell. I also got a patch on today. And they look, man, I'm gonna tell y'all what I experienced, and then I'm gonna give Steve an opportunity to talk about what he's experienced. First of all, when I test new products, they almost never work. I would say 80%, maybe 85% don't do anything for me. It's not to say that they don't work at all. They just don't work for me. The reason why is because when you detox on a regular basis, you fast on a regular basis, you live the life that you preach, you typically, like, it takes a lot to move the needle, right? Like I'm probably, my health is probably, in the top 20 or 15%. I don't know, in America, maybe higher. Our health is pretty bad over here. I'm being, So when I started using these things, the first thing I noticed was that it made me nauseous. So if anybody understands like detox and all that stuff, it peaked. I'm like, okay, it's doing something. Okay. It made me nauseous. Then I noticed that my sleep got better. Now I already sleep well, but I've been working a lot, and so I don't get a ton of sleep. And I noticed my sleep got better, and my dreams got more vivid. I already have vivid dreams, so I wasn't expecting this at all. This blindsided me. And it just so happened that recently I haven't been sleeping much just because I've been working so much. So this was great. This was an unexpected surprise. But that's all it took. I was locked in. I'm like, the technology works. So then I noticed over the course of probably 2 weeks, my vibration increased, my mood increased. And like when I talk, especially about something I'm passionate about, or, if I'm presenting, it's almost like I took a zero in. It's so weird, y'all. You have no idea. Like, it's so weird. If you guys if y'all have used zero in, you know what zero in does as far as like just motivate you. It locks you in, you're focused, you're articulate, like you're just firing on all 8 cylinders. What I've noticed with the patches is I'm chill until I'm locked in, until I'm, you know what I'm saying? Then I get on my calls, I'm teaching, and I'm like, where did this come from? It's like it activates when you need it. Like it's crazy. It takes me by surprise every time. My skin, you know what I'm saying? What you got? It was dewy, you know what I'm saying? It's moisturized. My skin has always been good since I changed my diet and stuff like that. You guys already know that. But what I've noticed is even when I'm not sleeping, not getting enough rest, I'm not eating great, I'm indulging in vices, whatever the case may be, my skin is maintaining. Now that is new. Because as I told you guys in the past, when I'm not taking the greatest care of myself, my body gives me feedback. And my skin is one of those things. I've told you guys in the past that, man, these patches are cheap because now my body ain't even giving me feedback, like on my face specifically, but just in general, it's like my body is functioning at a higher level, meaning that it takes more to get me to a place where my elimination pathways are clogged, or I'm starting to slow down, or whatever it is, or organs and systems are getting sluggish. So I'm sold, right? And this isn't my first experience with light therapy. For those who saw my interview I did maybe 2 years ago, I did a long fast. It was like 10 or 12 days. Came off. I gave myself like 6 days, and I think on day 7 or something like that, I had some vegan meat, and it put me in pain for like 27 hours. It was crazy. It was excruciating. And I used my LifeWave wand, and that's what resolved the pain. It was freaking light, y'all. I tried everything except going to the doctor. I didn't go to the doctor. I wasn't doing that because I know if I went to the doctor, they was going to tell me, oh, your appendix is ruptured and you're going to have surgery. Like I knew they were going to tell me something like that. So I didn't go to the doctor. And I know y'all are thinking, Chris, that was irresponsible of you. Well, maybe, but our body gives us very heavy feedback when we make a mistake for a reason. If we give it the support it needs, the right support, then it's not going to rupture and blow up on us, But it's a scary thing when you don't know. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say about my experience with it. It's been incredible so far. And I'm going to let Steve talk about his experience, but I'm going to put the link in the chat if you guys want to grab some or you want to learn more about it. You can go check out the website. It's incredible. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. So if you guys, for some of you who are on that call, unfortunately, I was not. I was vacation, Steve. I was literally in the air, so I couldn't join that call. But you probably heard from some people that have already had some very amazing results almost instantly. And myself, I'm kind of like Chris in the sense of, because I've done so much fasting and there's so much that I have changed in my diet and the way that I eat. First time Chris gave them to me, took like, I gave me, what do you think he gave me? 4. And I threw them on. He looked at me the next day. He's like, "What's up? Anything?" And I was just like, "No." Like very, very, he didn't really like that, right? Because he wanted me to have more energy behind it. And I didn't give him what he wanted. I was just like, "Hey man, I'm going to this with skepticism. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Hey,
very
right?
skeptical."
Very. And then, you know, kind of as things progressed, then, you know, I mean, I ended up ordering my patches. I started wearing them, and I was fasting, right? Because I just told you guys I was going through my it was a 6-1 schedule. I didn't tell you that, but it was a 6-1 schedule, which I don't particularly suggest or do, but that's a whole different topic. And I was like, well, I'm fasting, so, you know, of course I'm still getting results. So, but some of this stuff is fasting. So I don't know what's what. So I don't really have anything to tell you. I'm fasting, and a lot of what I feel are things that I would normally feel with fasting. So one day I dry fasted. Well, I did some dry fasting. I did not have the best night, right? So I was going to be eating the next morning. I was going to be refeeding the next day, and I had some leftover raw vegan egg salad in the fridge. It was like 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning. So technically my fast was done. And I normally like to go to sleep and I don't eat until I wake up. But I just ended up having one of them nights. And I was like, man, I know I was dry fasting. I'm sorry. Well, I dry fasted and then I was actually drinking water because I was going to be eating the next day. So I'd already dry fasted. And for some of you who kind of already know how this process works, this is really going to make sense. For some of you who really don't know, I'll try to make it make sense as possible. So I was dry fasting. I did 2 days. The next day was the third day. I was doing water. Now, typically, when you come off of a dry fast and you start drinking water, for those of you who know, you're typically going to see your weight either spike up a little bit or it's going to be even. You're typically not going to lose that day unless you're doing something crazy active or you just only have really little sips. Okay. So I expected to see a little bit of an increase already, or it stayed even. Then, and I'm telling myself a little bit, I'm gonna keep it honest. I had some of that raw vegan egg salad, right? I should have went to sleep, but I ended up having some of that. And then I ended up going to my little secret supply. I'm sweating here telling y'all, I went to my little secret supply and I had some little treats. I had some treats. And I had some treats. And I was like, hey man, I know I shouldn't have had them. Especially coming off of a dry fast. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna get on scale. My gut's gonna be inflamed. I'm probably gonna gain 2 pounds. I said, man, if I gain 2 pounds, I'll be okay. I know it's all inflammation, it'll be water. I'm cool with it. Not only that next morning, this is about 3 weeks into using the patches. Not only did I not gain any weight after the dry fast and then drinking water and then going into my little snack pack closet. Not only did I not gain, I actually lost a pound. And I went in the next day to Chris and I said, hey man, I think we got something here. I think we got something here, right? And then so that's probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed not only that, I recently, probably within the last week, just started posting some pictures, and just for whatever reason, they were really close, really up close to my face. And I started getting compliments like, "Oh my God, Steven, your skin looks so good. Your skin looks so good. You're glowing. Your skin looks so good." Right. Which, I mean, I've got these compliments before. But then, like, my girlfriend was just like, she on FaceTime, she's like, "You looking good. Your skin look real good." I'm like, okay, like, I keep getting this over this last week. And then I go to talk to Chris, and Chris is he's just in there chilling. He's on his laptop or whatever. He's relaxing. And Chris got all these patches all over his bed. He's got patches all over his bed. My man's on his laptop, he's working. And I walk in, he starts looking around, and he grabs a pack, and he's like, "You want these?" And I'm like, "I mean, the patches?" He was like, "Yeah, but these." And I'm like, Chris, I can't see it. They're just patches. Yeah, I'm wearing them. Like, he is like, "What do you want from me?" He said, "Hey, man, no, you on the skin collagen builder?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm on the regular one." And he was like, "Hey, I don't think I've ever seen your skin look this good." He said, and I was just like, "Oh, for real?" I was like, I've literally all week been getting so many compliments from people in the store, from people online. And I was like, that's them stem cells, right? Because stem cells are reproducing, right? And then they start to help reproduce collagen. And they have specific ones, right, that are designed specifically for collagen building, glutathione. I got the fitness ones I'm gonna start trying out. Yeah, I mean, got the sleepy ones. Hey, listen, my needle was moved. I have some lower back pain that I deal with, and then Chris asked me how's my back, and I was like, I said it's good. I said, matter of fact, it's so good. I actually went out and went for a little walk, did a little jogging, and for a whole week straight while fasting and some of my dry fasting, I was out every day. And it's the little things that you don't really notice. It's a very sneaky product, and it sneaks up on you. But as I actually started having conversation with Chris, I'm like, this stuff is actually working.
Yeah.
And probably this last like 4 or 5 days, I just been handing them out. Gave my barber some. I said, "Hey man, I need you to try these." Told him about them. Just gave my barber some. My brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, hey, listen, it's working. And a lot of things don't work for me, but we have come to the conclusion that anything inflammatory, you're going to notice things. So if you deal with inflammatory pain, inflammation in your weight, right? Anything in an inflammatory disease, inflammatory bowel disease, anything inflammatory, you're the people that are going to notice the things first, quickly. It does a really good job of decreasing inflammation. And I think that part of that is due to the calming of the immune system and telling the immune system, relax, we're okay. You don't need to be so hyped, right? With calming the immune system, what's happening is inflammation goes down. And you see that in weight, you see that in your skin becomes less inflamed, all these things, right? We don't have time. I don't have time. But
we don't got time. Look, this wasn't even about the patches, but look, Cheryl, I didn't even know Cheryl was on the patches.
Sneaking in.
She snuck in here. Better sleep. Look, deeper sleep. People don't understand the importance of deeper sleep. Because I actually gave this guy, I know he's a more active guy, but he didn't sleep well. I gave him the patches. And he was like, "Well, Chris, the only thing I noticed was a little bit better sleep." And he just brushed it off. I'm like, a little bit better sleep, and you have problems sleeping. The reason why the needle moves so much for John is because of better sleep. Better sleep is everything, y'all. When you're not getting proper sleep, it's like you're building your house on a pile of sand. We got a couple questions here. I don't know if I caught them all. But we're going to go through these questions and make sure we get some of these questions answered. The 5-2 challenge starts on Sunday. That'll be the introductory call. Prepping's going to start on Monday. How do you maintain your muscle mass on these longer fasts, Steve? You fast long.
To try to give a very concise answer, fundamentally, what we think we are losing, we're not. People will say that, oh, I'm losing muscle mass. Well, we have to understand what muscle is made out of, and then you will understand what you're actually losing. You'll find that you're not losing strength. And if you work out consistently, you'll realize you're not losing strength, right? After your fast, you'll realize that you have less stamina, but the strength that you have or the amount that you can lift, you will realize it has not gone down. And that's because the body is actively eating dead, damaged proteins in the muscle. It is decreasing inflammation in the muscle, right? And it's also removing toxins and stored nutrition that your body's using to actually go through the fasting, which you store in muscle as well. So when people say you're losing muscle mass, we have to understand the difference between mass and just size, and then actual strength or density. So this is why you can have world-class bodybuilders lose arm wrestling competitions to really small, skinny dudes, because there's a difference between strength and mass. So if your mass is built on old, damaged proteins, or a lot of meat, dairy, or you're just inflamed, you will lose that. But the good thing is you don't want that. It may make you look bigger, but it's actually something that your body doesn't want. It's maintaining inflammation that you don't actually want. So anyway, you're not losing any strength, and while you're fasting, you're not actively losing much muscle. HGH goes up through the roof, and your body is doing everything it can to actually maintain your actual muscle that you need, but it does eliminate things that are in the muscle that are actually harmful to you.
Follow up, how hard should we be lifting during a longer fast?
Not at all. So I don't suggest doing any lifting during longer fasting. If you want to do a little lifting during shorter fasting and utilize some of the HGH production, I'm okay with that. But longer fasting, the only thing you should be doing, stretching, like yoga style, Pilates, right? Walking, and maybe a little bit of light running if you are already used to that. But I don't suggest lifting. It doesn't give you that we could do a whole live on that, but it's not giving you the results that you think it's going to give you.
Yeah. The whole thing around like fasting, lifting, working out, building muscle is very confusing for people because honestly, there's just fake news,
We've
man.
fundamentally been taught incorrect.
Yeah, fake neuse. It's fake news.
We fundamentally been taught incorrect. So people think if I eat less and move more, I'll lose more weight. So if I'm fasting and I'm working out, I'll lose more weight. And I cannot tell you, I have tried. It doesn't work. John has done it. I mean, I have so many people have done it, and they're like, oh, I don't understand why I'm not losing more weight. It's not how you lose weight. It's been debunked so many times, but yet it's always eat less, move more, but it's not working for anybody.
Yeah. Planning to go on a 27-day fast, 20 days of water, 7 days of dry, no salt, no electrolytes, no multivitamins. Should I go for it or changes required?
I would go through, first of all, I would join the 5-2 and go through the prep. Even if you decide you want to do 7 days, I would still join the 5-2. Number one, you're going to get community support. So everyone, at least in the community, is going to be doing the same thing that you're doing, maybe not as long, but we're all going to be fasting, right? You're also going to go through that preparation cycle where you can properly learn how to prepare for the fast, which will be the same, essentially, that you would go through anyway. And then from there, you just would continue your fasting past that 5 days and just do your 21. There's plenty of people that adjust their fasting, and we support it. So, and then of course, if you still have questions, set up a coaching call with one of the coaches, and we can help you adjust things if needed. But I would definitely, you can of course do it on your own. I mean, absolutely. But my suggestion would be to at least join the challenge. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't realize that when you join these challenges, people think, oh, I'm joining the challenge, it's $100. Like, bro, you actually make money joining the challenges. I take $20 every day I fast and I slide it from my checking to my savings account. You literally are making money while you're fasting because you're not spending money on food. You easily spend $20 a day on food. So you are actively going to be making money. So even if you got through 5 days of fasting, you are paying for your challenge. There's really no reason not to join. And then Chris is has so graciously gone through the process of setting up Afterpay. I mean, you can literally take it and break it up over 4 payments. I mean, you'll be halfway through the challenge before it's even paid off. It's $25 every 2 weeks. Like, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know.
I mean,
If it was me, and if it was me back in the day, man, I would have loved these.
Oh, me too. Me too. Like, why did we create this? Because it doesn't exist. What y'all put in the chat? Y'all put in the chat. We got 160 people on right now. Hit the like button, share it out. Y'all put in the chat what other community I can go to and get this level of support, this value proposition. We'll just put it like that. Just put it in the chat so that I can go check them out, because I've never seen it before.
Bro, I'm in groups right now that I pay for, and not to spy, right? Because clearly I've gotten some sort of value, and they're nothing like ours. The amount of stuff, I mean, not to toot our own horn, but the amount of stuff that we give away for free. If you just email me, I'll as long as I can email you back and it's a reasonable question, you'll get a whole coaching session through email. Like, we do so much because we're genuine. And I think that's one of the things that makes us special is people are just like, I just want to support these guys because they're genuine. Like, our goal is to help people. And that's really what we try to do. And I hope that comes across.
Someone said, are the caster packs back in stock? Yes, they are. I don't think I've updated the shop because the challenge is coming up and I wanted to save the caster packs for the challenge. So you can buy your challenge with the caster pack, or you can get the challenge. Someone asked how much the challenge was. It's $98. It's $98. It's a 30-day challenge. And you can add the caster pack at a discounted price. So if you're going to get the caster pack and you plan to join the challenge, buy it as a bundle and save yourself a little bit of money. I'm seeing in the chat that everyone's saying AHA is the only community like this. There's no other community like us. So that means, sorry for the mucus, y'all. That means we have something special. Listen, I'm excited to share with y'all. There's something special that's been happening. And I don't want to say that it's the patches because that's like taking it too far, I think. But it's like, I think it's a coincidence. It coincides though. When I started taking the patches, I tell y'all about what I did notice, like physically and mentally, but also it seems like since I started using them, information has been coming to me. Good, concrete, good information has been coming to me ever since it could just be a coincidence if we believe in that. It could just be timing. I don't know. But I found out about something else recently that I'm testing for you guys, and hopefully it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'm very excited, and I got John on it too, and I'm gonna put Queen Bonnie on it as well because I think this is going to be an absolute game changer. So I'm really excited to see what that does. Let's see. I think we got another question. Okay, Steve. Would it help with the gut? I don't know if this one's for the patches or if this is probably for the patches. This question.
I think it was for the patches. I'll say this. From what I have deduced, the thing that you guys will start to understand about this company is that they're similar to Root in the way that they're very careful in how they disseminate information due to legality purposes. But trust me when I say that we have done our research, and when I say that I have noticed that anything inflammatory, me and Chris came to this conclusion separately. We didn't talk about this. And then we were talking one day and I said the same thing, right? And a lot of times we have issues with our gut, and we have issues with inflammation in our gut. And that's the reason that we have gut issues. Now, obviously, you have other issues with dysbiosis, you have different bacterial issues, and we have things for that. We got the PAC group, we got, people that are moving and doing different things. But I will say this, I have noticed different digestion where I'm like, oh, I just ate some salad, and then I had like 4 poops, sizable ones. And I'm like, bruh, I've been fasting. Where's this coming from? Right? Like, and you think, oh, well, Stephen, it's just poop in your gut. Like, you guys, I do a lot of stuff. I know when I should have big poops and small poops. And I've noticed that because I wear my patch on my lower back, whole different another conversation, but I'm trying to specifically focus on stem cells on my lower back because when I was at 400 pounds, my spine was getting depressed, and one of my discs started to have degradation. So that's why I have lower back pain. It's not simply inflammatory, it's an actual degradation. So if you have actual physical damage or tissue damage, you're going to be in that 8 to 12 week range where that stem cell production really starts to ramp up. Anything inflammatory, you have to understand that those things are going to start getting knocked out first. So the bowel movements that I've seen, I will say absolutely yes. And if you have gut issues that are inflammatory, I think absolutely yes, you'll notice that 100%. But when it comes to like stem cells in the gut, you can rebuild parts of your gut, which is what stem cells do. And if you have damage or if you have a breakage or leaky gut, something like that, stem cells can help to adjust and help fix those. So my answer would be yes. For those reasons.
And for those reasons, I'm out. All right. So a couple more questions and then we got to get out of here, y'all. Steve's got to get back to it. You know,
my bad, man. I know. Listen, I got the kids. I know they're coming back from the beach. They're going to be coming in any minute now.
They're going to come in like a hurricane.
They're going to be coming in any minute now.
Okay, my sciatica pain is my issue. I expect the patches tomorrow. I guess that wasn't really a question. Good luck with the just stay the course. Remember what Stephen mentioned. Inflammatory, we're probably going to see a big reduction instantly. If you have torn tissues and ligaments and things, nerve damage, that takes a little bit more time. But I recommend people start. Okay, it's called the X39. I did put the link in the chat. It's also in the description. That's the one that you guys want as a general wellness patch. Okay, and I would recommend starting with a minimum of 3 months. But the company recommends you get one sleeve. They're called sleeves. It's 30 days worth. One sleeve for every decade you've been alive. Honestly, Root recommends the same thing. 1 bottle of Clean Slate for every decade that you've been alive. So that'll just help you guys out there. I wanted to try Zero In, but caffeine triggers anxiety for me. Has anyone had issues with this? Good question. Thanks for bringing it up. So yes, caffeine can be an issue. If you're sensitive to caffeine, it is very rare, I would say, but some people that are hypersensitive to caffeine do have issues. The reason it's more rare than your traditional caffeine products that have caffeine in it is because Root uses endogenous caffeine. So it comes from the leaf, okay, the cocoa leaf. So it is a different form of caffeine. So it's hard to say, but some people experience it and other people who are sensitive to caffeine, they don't have the problem. So it's just one of those things. It's a toss up, you know. Hey, listen, if you're in the AHA communities, I'm sure somebody be willing to send you a sample, you know. If not, I've got samples. Just join AHA.
Hey, man, hit me up, man. I'll send you a couple.
Yeah, join AHA communities.
But also something that you can do if you're sensitive to caffeine. I'm surprised you didn't say this, Chris. Just take less. Chris started breaking them capsules down into half capsules, and they're still as effective and potent. And as the way that Zero In works is that it's not just giving you a benefit in the short term. It's actually going through and delivering nutrition to the endocrine system that is actually allowing you to produce dopamine and serotonin, and it actually is healing, right? We can't say it's healing, but that nutrition itself does healing. And then now you can become more sensitive to the zero in, so you can take less of it over time. But yeah, if you're naturally sensitive, then you can start off with half a cap. Put it in water or something like that. But yeah, man, if you want to try it out, hit me up, man. I'll send you 4 or 5 of them.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I broke mine into quarters, so I froze in there.
Uh-oh.
I'm frozen. Up, it's time to go.
Hey, that's the thing telling you it's time, baby.
It's time to go. Link is in the chat, y'all, to join the challenge. I know somebody was asking. Yeah, my camera's been freezing up. My computer is dying. It's dying. It's time.
Hey man, they said they want to see the kids, man. Them kids walked in, they was chomping at the bit trying to get on camera.
Yeah, it's up to you, man. That's up to you if you want to do that.
Y'all want to see the kids, man? Girl. All right, listen, hey, real quick, man. Y'all, a lot of y'all haven't seen my kids. I'll bring them on real quick. My daughter.
Hi.
Emma.
Hello. This is my daughter, Emma. She's a little burnt right now.
Crispy.
Oh, Noah's in the shower.
Oh.
All right. Well.
Huh?
Look at you famous now. Noah's in the shower. He's got sand on him, so.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
And everybody else is being shy.
And I'm frozen.
Okay. All right, that's it.
All right. Well, listen, y'all. This has been a great talk today. I had a lot of fun. I really hope to see you guys in the challenge, and I hope that you guys decide to check out those patches and then share what you've experienced, because so far so good, man. We're having a great experience. What you say? Hey, cutie pie.
All right, we out of here.
All right, y'all. Have a good night. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.